Hello, and welcome back to the podcast where you are invited for lighthearted conversations about things that matter as you seek to live your most meaningful, beautiful, and joyful life. I'm your host, Dr. Edie Wadsworth, and I hope you enjoy your stay here at the House of Joy. Well, hi, dear ones. Welcome back to the podcast. Dr. Edie here at the House of Joy. Today, we are doing part 6 in our series on building your dream business. I'm going to talk today about what I feel like is really the number one key to my success. And so this one is kind of a juicy topic, and I'm so excited to dive in. I wanted to remind you, by the way, that we have a private podcast. If you are interested in business, especially in the kind of business that I do, which would be, online marketing of a coaching business or a product. If you're interested in that, I think you would love this series. And you can head to ediewadsworthcoaching.com/dream business to become to get access to the private podcast. And we will, be adding to these over the next few months. And even as we finish up this series that we're doing right now, we'll still be adding some new episodes. So go give that a subscribe. I think you'll really enjoy it. So let's dive into what I really feel like is the number one key to my success as a coach, as a business owner. And it might surprise you, but I think that really how I would describe this is basically practicing what you preach, living what you teach every day, like really staying engaged with the thing you're doing, whether it's the product that you're selling or the, services that you're offering, like believing in them so much that you live by them, that you use them. And I really think that that has been totally the key to my success. Maybe when I didn't have the best marketing or selling skills, this authenticity piece is so important. People can feel if you really believe in what you're doing. There is like a certain energy to that, a certain way that you come across when it's obvious that you're practicing what you preach, that you're living what you teach, that you're really engaged with what you're doing. I think it builds so much trust with the people that you're engaging with because they can feel, they can see that you really are embodying the message that you live, and that personal transformation that you're getting with the product or the service fuels your business growth because you're sharing your own experience firsthand, the power of your tools firsthand, your belief. Here's the one of the amazing side effects of that is that your belief in what you do and what you sell becomes so much stronger because you're using it every day and you're growing and you're changing and you're transforming. And so your own belief in it really changes. And then again, there's like a sense that people can feel that they can go, oh man, I can tell that she really authentically believes this, loves this, is living this, is embodying this. And it builds so much authenticity, so much trust, so much integrity, because then you are in congruence with what you're doing. It's very much easier to get over imposter syndrome and to really make an impact when you're living what you're teaching, you're practicing what you preach. And this has been so important in my own life and in my own business. I love this quote by Jesse Jackson, who says, "You can't teach what you don't know, and you can't lead where you won't go." So in a lot of ways, this is so true. And I think that I've heard this forever. I think this is true that you can't grow your business more than you're willing to grow yourself. And if you do come up against, a ceiling where you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm at a plateau, I can't get past that. Usually the answer is, where do you need to do some personal growth? Where do you need to grow as a person? Where do you need to grow your belief in what's possible for you? Where do you need to shift your identity in believing what is possible for you? And I know that every time I have been at a plateau, this is exactly what it has been. It has been me being willing to challenge whatever, my limiting beliefs are, whatever I feel like my glass ceiling is, and being willing to consciously like step into the next version of myself, a more true, a more aligned, a more powerful version of myself that is willing to do whatever it takes, that's willing to um, do the hard work, step into the failure, the obstacles, or whatever that usually happen when we're on this kind of a growth journey ourselves. So, embodiment in these kind of things is so important, like you actually living it yourself. So, one of the things that I wanted to kind of talk about is how, when you do this, um again, it shifts you, it shifts your belief, and then it shifts the people that you're talking to, it shifts their belief. So your question might be, okay, well, how do you do it? So I just want to go through some of the ways that I actually do this. How do I embody what I teach, practice what I preach, however you want to call it? And there's some ways that I feel like I have been able to do this over the years, and when I look back at these points in my own business where I really saw massive growth, it was because I was so dialed in on these things. And of course, life happens. And so there are times, even still in my own life, where I'm very much more dialed into these daily habits and practices, rituals, that I'm committed to doing the work. So there's seasons, obviously, of our own lives where we're more into this than others. But I can definitely look back and see that when I made big shifts, when I made these big transformations, I was definitely doing this. So, one of the things that I have committed to probably for the past 10 years is sort of like a um daily planning, but within that daily planning is deciding on purpose what I want to think and believe about myself, about the impact that I can have, about my clients. I on purpose practice the beliefs that I want to have about my clients, that I believe that they, are um, interested in growth and interested in living as their highest selves, that they are drawn to that when they see people who are really engaging in their lives, when they see somebody like me who, is really committed to this, is really committed to growth, is really committed to the thing that I teach, that they're drawn to that. And so practicing the mindset that you want to have around yourself, around your business, around your clients, this is something that I've been doing for a long time. And I mean, like, daily practicing those beliefs, writing them down, um, embodying them. Like, I will spend sometimes, in my journal, just journaling. What do I feel like the next phase of growth looks like for me? What does it look like for my business? What does it look like for my clients? Like, really staying engaged with what I believe my clients want and how I can deliver that value to them, really listening to them. Like, when I'm on coaching calls, I'm really listening to my clients. I was on a call the other day with I just started this new program, my master coach training, and I was on a call the other day, and I, as part of the training, had hired one of my favorite coaches to come in and coach. And so I was just sitting there listening to my clients and listening to them being coached. And it was such a powerful experience for me because I didn't have the pressure of being the coach. So I could just sit back and really hear them and hear their fears and hear their frustrations. And that commitment to really listening to them and, crafting programs, coaching calls, teachings that really speak into, like, what are their struggles right now. And so I feel like committing to this over the past few years has been such a game changer because I'm so connected to my clients. I'm so connected to what they want, to what their dreams are, and being connected to that, to their dreams, I think helps me be a better coach. It helps me really stay engaged with myself, with my own growth, but with them and with their growth. So, one of the practices that I do for that is just regularly journaling about that, regularly engaging with them so that I know what their struggles are. I know what, their dreams are. And I am designing things that really do help them live out their own dreams. Um, the other thing that I notice that I'm always doing in these seasons where I'm having amazing transformation is that um, I'm really good about the early morning and the evening with just my rituals, with how I'm taking care of myself. One of the periods where I went through the most business growth, I committed to listening to a meditation that was so good. It was called Ask, Believe, and Receive. I actually do still listen to it. It's on the Brain Tap app. And I love this meditation, and I've listened to it literally hundreds and hundreds of times. And, I came from a background where I didn't have the most powerful mindset. So, listening to meditations that align with what I think and believe, I've even created some of my own meditations because it is hard to find ones that I feel like do kind of align with my own, thoughts and beliefs. But that meditation has been really powerful for me to really keep my mindset in a powerful way. I really do believe that, we live in a world where there are miracles everywhere, and reminding myself of that, tuning my mind to see that in myself and in others and in daily life, like that practice of really living, living in the breakthrough, living in the magic, living in the miracle of life, of the tools that I teach, like that has been so powerful. And that practice of kind of listening to that meditation would always kind of bring me back to that, because I'm human just like everybody else. And it's so easy for us in daily life and, struggles and stresses and things that are, weighing on us. It's just so easy for us to, um, you know, get to the point where we're not really living in the miracle. We're not really seeing the miracle every day. And I know I've said this a lot, but for a solid year, I practiced the thought everywhere I look, I see miracles. And the crazy thing is, I started seeing miracles literally everywhere, like in my own life, in other people, in my business, in my clients. And like the commitment to that kind of like managing your heart and mind on purpose has made so much difference. I think, again, it's one of those ways that the people that you're helping, your clients or whoever, you're helping, they can tell, am I really living in this? I think of when I first started my network marketing business, I started drinking this amazing drink called Ningxia Red, and it totally changed my life. And literally 10 years later, I'm still drinking this drink. I just had it for dinner. It's my favorite mocktail. We have it every night. Pour it in a glass with some Pellegrino, and I still talk about it all the time. I still have a thriving business. And a lot of it is based on me just sharing what I'm actually using that's actually working for me. So, even something that I found 10 years ago that I'm still passionate about, that I still talk about, that I'm still engaging with, it has been like a beautiful, beautiful business for me. So, you have to ask yourself, like, am I really engaging with this product, with these tools that I teach in such a way that it's so magnetizing and so compelling to someone else, because they can tell that I really believe in what I'm doing, that I believe in this product, I believe in this service so much that I'm using it in my own life and getting these results. And again, it's like committing to practicing that each and every day, to showing up for yourself in these ways, whether it's journaling or planning or meditations or, I really do believe, and I have practiced this belief for a long time, that as I grow my business and build my business, I grow and build my life, my joy, my health. So I have committed to a belief that growing and building my business doesn't have to sacrifice my health, which for a lot of people it doesn't have to sacrifice my marriage, which for a lot of people it doesn't have to sacrifice any of my relationships. So I'm just committed to the belief that as I grow my business, I grow my joy, I grow my impact, I grow my relationships, I grow my health. And I've practiced this belief for several years now, and I have demonstrated it to be true. I've gotten healthier, I've gotten more connected in relationships, I've experienced more fun, I've experienced more joy. So, like, me committing myself to that is a powerful thing, because this is what I teach my people, that, you can make your impact and prioritize your health and prioritize your relationships and prioritize joy. Like, those things don't have to be mutually exclusive. And this is something that I have intentionally practiced for years now. Um, Another thing that I feel like has been one of the things that I've really practiced is identity. This is something that I talk about in my program. We actually are getting ready to do a beautiful 3-day workshop coming up in March, at the end of March. So we'll have some registration pages for you in the next week or so. But that launch is going to be on identity and confidence and like really stepping into your true identity. And this is something that I have had to work on because if it's not something that we intentionally work on, we inherit these beliefs about ourselves from everybody else, and questioning our worthiness and questioning our value, and not and sort of playing small and not stepping into the next level of our lives or our identities. And so this is something that I've committed to, like, really working on, because I believe it's so important. So it's not just something that I tell my clients, oh, you should do. This is something that I intentionally work on through journaling, through getting coached myself, through, listening to podcasts, to meditations, like something that I'm consistently working on. Um, the other thing that, I feel like has been a consistent habit for me is really taking my health seriously, because I feel like, what's the saying? If you don't have, if you have your health, you can worry about everything. If you don't have your health, it's the only thing you worry about, something like that. And so I've really taken this seriously in how I feed myself and how I move and how I take care of my body and how I regulate my nervous system and how I, you know, just go about my day, like prioritizing this. And again, I do it because I know that it's important, because I feel so much better, but I do it also because this is part of what I teach. And I remember being in medical practice and having physician friends or going to physicians where you could tell that health wasn't a priority for them, and that just totally feels out of alignment to me. And again, it's not that you can't help somebody if you're struggling with something, but are you engaged with your own health? Are you engaged in a way that lets somebody know, like, this is not just something that I talk about, this is something that I live, that I practice, that I work on, that I'm committed to. And you know, I'll any day show me somebody who's really in the game, who's really committed to movement and nutrition and sleep and reducing their stress, and I'm like, "Oh, I want to learn from that person because they're actually in the arena, they're actually doing the thing." And this shows up in my business in a multitude of ways, but it helps me be bolder in making decisions because I'm so much more confident, because I'm living what I'm teaching. It helps me to trust the process when it's not always going the way I want to on the timeline that I think it should. I just trust the process. No, I'm living in alignment. I'm engaging with my life and with my business and in the tools that I teach. And so I just trust the process. And I also think that it helps me handle challenges with so much more faith and so much more resilience, because again, I'm walking the walk. So I will ask you, for those of you who have, your own business of any kind or selling a product or whatever, are you really walking the walk? Are you really committing yourself to the product or to the service so that it feels like what you're doing is really in alignment? And I am so thankful for all of the, people that I have learned from, who have shown me this in such a powerful way. Again, not that things are always going well and that you're always just growing and that there's no problems, but that you're committed to it even in the midst of challenges, obstacles, failures, or whatever. So this has definitely been, I think, the number one key to my success, is just that authenticity in what I'm doing and staying committed to it myself. I tell my clients all the time, like, and I'm always giving examples, like, okay, here's the lesson that I want to teach you this month. And here's how I'm walking that out and living that out myself right now. So I hope this has been encouraging to you. And I hope that it will encourage you to more and more engage with the product, the service, the tool, whatever it is that you're passionate about, that you teach. It'll make sharing it in your business so much easier. It will feel so natural. It will feel so authentic. It will feel really good to offer something that works because you're doing it yourself. All right. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Again, if you haven't downloaded our private business podcast, head to ediewadsworthcoaching.com/dream business and we will send you the link. I hope you have a great rest of your day and I will see you next time. Bye for now.